Mic check, mic check.
Hey there, I'm Chelsea,
And I'm Tony Northup.
and you're watching Chelsea and Tony Live, and this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, portfolio, or online store for you and your ideas. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. Try Squarespace at squarespace.com and enter the offer code portfolio at checkout to get 10% off. Squarespace, build it beautiful.
This episode
They told me they'd kill me if I didn't say that. The build it beautiful.
Build It Beautiful.
They didn't really say that.
Their websites are really nice.
They are.
They look good. We'll review some portfolios today, so you'll get to see some Squarespace and some non-Squarespace portfolios. And sometimes you can't tell, but sometimes the difference is pretty obvious. Squarespace makes it easy to make good, pretty websites. This week we're reviewing your still life photos. So Chelsea, why don't you tell people what a still life photo is?
Still life photo.
I've got a picture of my dog. He's being really still. Is that a still life?
No.
I took a picture of this building and it's definitely not moving. Is that a still life?
But a still life is usually an arrangement of inanimate objects, like you've seen paintings of fruit. There are often skulls in them, swords, all sorts of meaningful props, usually symbolic.
Yeah.
I made one here.
It's usually compositionally significant. It's a deliberate arrangement of things that aren't alive. Often it tells a story or that has some sort of theme to it. We had a video up that you can watch about still lifes, and it's covered in
People think
STP.
still lifes are boring, but they're pretty badass, the originals, because they couldn't speak out against religion or politics.
Yeah.
So they would sneak all sorts of signs in there and just stand with a still life.
And if you do think still lifes are boring, we're going to be checking out some portfolios too. So
Okay.
we'll mix it up a little bit.
Next week, selfies. You can, I don't know, be as simple or as creative as you want. You could use a selfie
No, they
stick.
can't be as simple as they want. I do not want duck face with the camera phone up here. Like, put a little effort into it.
I might.
We expect you. You're a photographer.
Okay. You have high expectations.
Do not. We're using the term selfie loosely. Self-portrait.
No
Totally
genitals.
We just kind of let that sit there for a minute.
Not in your selfies, that's fine, just in general. No genitals. What's this? stp.io/poll1.
It's a poll. I just had this thought 2 minutes before the show that I should poll people and see something informational since we can interact with them. So you can go there and tell us what sort of camera you use, and then we'll look at it, and there'll be like a graph. I probably should have like come up with a more interesting polling topic, but if it works, maybe in the future we'll try to make polling topics more compelling.
Something about genitals.
Something about genitals. Like I said, we're reviewing portfolios today, so you can go to stp.io/link. If you want to send us your photos, go to stp.io/submit. There's a form there, and you send in one picture per person, please.
One picture.
We have a couple of bits of new gear today. We're reviewing the Tamron 50-30 f2.8 landscape lens. And finally, I think there's a real like pro-level competitor to the Nikon 14-28, is it? And the Canon 16-35. Super wide angle would be great in like narrow streets of Europe. That's kind of where I love to use those things.
Yeah.
And in the past, like Sigma and Tamron have had kind of cheap versions, but this is like supposed to be pro grade. So we're really going to put it to the test. And you can pick it up there. It's about $1,200. We also have on the other end of the spectrum, it says, my slide says $1,200, but it's actually $300. It's the Rokinon 14mm Prime, and it's all manual. So it's at the other end of the spectrum. It covers a lot of the same kind of range, but it's kind of an interesting story. A quarter the price.
What's its focal length?
It's 14 millimeters.
Wow.
So super, super wide angle, actually wider than
it
that
looks
Tamron.
almost like our fisheye lens.
Yeah, that front element is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Stunner news. You didn't know this was coming, did you? Wendy Cooper made it to BBC Earth with her picture
Oh, wow.
of, what is that, a damselfly or a dragonfly?
Probably a damselfly.
It's beautiful. Wendy Cooper's a stunner. We sometimes like to feature the photos of the people in our group because we see them go from just beginners to getting their pictures published, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, Wendy Cooper, she's like been with us forever.
Years.
Yeah, like a very first edition of SDP when it had 90 minutes of video.
I like Wendy Cooper a lot 'cause she's one of those people that makes a lot of progress but never gets cocky. She
Yeah,
just
she just
truly
keeps
loves
marching
photography.
forward one step at a time
Yeah, she's
every
always
day.
making progress because she just loves it and she's always trying new things. And
If you like her so
congratulations.
much, why did you give her only one congratulation?
What?
It just says congratulations instead of congratulations.
Well,
Customarily, we hand out multiple congratulations. I don't know why that is. Congratulations seems more appropriate.
It was a typo. Wendy. I'm
Sorry,
not trying
Wendy,
to
you're
rob
limited to
you.
one congratulation. Try harder next time. Maybe we'll give out a couple more.
If you want to be like Wendy, rock it, join the group, be a stunner. You could do it for like $9. Buy one of our books. Well, you have to buy SDP to be a stunner in the stunner group, but the Lightroom group is good too if you want to learn about editing. What about Saturn's rings?
Justin, there's not a whole lot of photography news, but Justin turned me on to this video that's been out for a while.
Justin what?
And it's a trailer for this guy. He took these free images from NASA and compiled them into a video. So, like, we send out these spaceships, and they'll go around different planets and just take pictures on a regular basis. And NASA just kind of gives you all the images for free. And this maniac stitches them all manually. And it's this really time-consuming process. Justin's playing a little video of it. The videos are, it's just amazing. It's so incredibly compelling. It is not special effects. It's not photographs, individual photographs that have been stitched together into a video. And I think it's just breathtaking. My understanding is he says he got picked up by IMAX and it was supposed to be coming in 2014, but now it's 2015 and we haven't seen it in IMAX yet. So who knows? Maybe it's coming soon.
That's so cool.
Maybe we should take a look at a couple of pictures. Let's see if there is anything here first.
Some pictures?
Some of these are from last week, I think. Well, we usually take a look at pictures from last week. What was our theme last week? Macro, right?
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of macro photos here. Wow, this one really caught my eye just because of the bright colors. It made a great thumbnail. Like when you look at the close-up, it might be a little too grainy, a little too contrasty, but the thumbnail itself really popped.
Yeah.
It's an important lesson. Oh, I see some actual still life photos here. Maybe that's just a macro photo.
Yeah, I think that's macro.
Yeah. Okay, so we're still kind of immersed in the macro section. Any of these other macro photos catch your eye, Chelsea? This one's beautiful. Some really good detail.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh my gosh. Sandy definitely just got my soup off the counter.
Oh, we have a dog who jumps up on the counters when we're not around. Hard enough to not do it when we're there. This actually looks like a proper still life photo.
Raise hell.
What do you know?
Just like I was talking about, stick it to the man with your still life. So, what exactly are we looking at?
A couple of tattoo guns, it looks like to me. Is that what those are, Justin? Siobhan, you would know, I guess.
Yeah, those are tattooed guns.
Siobhan's
Siobhan's nodding.
I should introduce Siobhan in Philadelphia.
I thought everybody knew Siobhan.
Yeah, she's listening to your comments and she will throw them up to us and read them to us if you have questions. So just ask questions in the comments and Siobhan will.
Siobhan, is this
pitch 'em
Sailor
over to us.
Jerry stuff?
Yeah, it's probably Flash. I don't know if it's Sailor Jerry. And those are called tattoo machines, to be technical.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
She's
Wrecked.
Wrecked. See ya, Tony.
I should
Okay.
also say, we forgot to throw a slide in for it, but hashtag TC Live, Justin can see them and I'll throw them up on the screen if you have something clever or witty to say. Another way to ask us a question.
Yeah. One really important thing with the still life is lighting. And if you look at the still life paintings, they usually put their setup in front of a window or something, or had a candle lit, and the dramatic lighting is key. So I
Yeah.
like the arrangement. There's like really a theme here. They thought out some of the props. I'd like to see them do something with the lighting as well.
Yeah, you definitely increase the contrast, and it did feel really flat to me. It still feels a little bit like green to me, though, don't you think? I don't know. I mean, maybe they did something deliberate. No, it's too purple, but um, yeah, really interesting picture. Nice arrangement. The skull is really cool.
Yeah.
That guy was really committed to modifications.
Yeah.
That must have hurt.
Skull carving.
Let's see what else we got. I see a bunch of macro photos that got mixed in here. That's a cool one. I always like gears and stuff.
Yeah, I like that shot. Oh, I see a still life. Boop. China.
I think this might actually be a macro photo, and that might be tiny, tiny China.
It kind of.
I think that's what it is. But at the same time, they got, if that's tiny, then they have a lot of depth of field.
It's making me crazy that I can hear the dog eating.
Oh,
Soup.
Sandy,
Yeah.
just enjoying your soup.
Just having a grand old eating my soup.
She knows we can't run after her now. She's probably
like-
figured out the whole live
Yeah,
show
she's
thing.
like, their stupid show. I'm gonna go eat their soup.
Keep sending your photos into scp.io/link. In the meantime, we will take a look at a portfolio. This is Nicole Ramirez. Apparently she speaks
Wow.
Spanish, or Nicholas, I'm sorry, I misread your name. He speaks Spanish. And this is not a Squarespace site. This is a Wix site.
But it's nice.
Yeah, so far so good. Okay, so wedding photography here. Okay, architectural photography. Travel. Wow. I wish this shot had more contrast. A little washed out. Same with this shot, just a little washed out. I also wish these, I hate to bust on it since it's not a Squarespace site, but I wish these pictures were kind of full screen.
I love that last picture.
You see how it's kind of small on
Yeah,
my
you're
screen?
right. It could, if you're going to use this format, it could be bigger. That's
Yeah,
nice.
and it says, like, create your own for free down here, which isn't, and they've got their banners everywhere.
Yeah.
So not the most pro way to do it. Other things. Trying to brush up my Spanish a little bit. This is good practice. It's weird that they just call this street photography, though, right? Why is that word in English? Is street photography like internet? Like you wouldn't say
I don't
calle
know.
in Spanish, you would just say street?
No, I don't know.
That's a really cool shot. Still wouldn't mind raising those whites a little bit. Wow,
Oh, I
that's a
love
beautiful
that.
shot. I wouldn't even call it street photography, but it's beautiful. You were looping. So a couple of things about the layout I found confusing. Like the layout varies from page to page. This has one layout, and then this has, you know, another layout. I wish these pictures
Yeah.
were full screen. As far as your work goes, I think it's strong. You know, some of the pictures I think need a little more contrast to them, maybe a little more pop. What are your thoughts, Chels?
I think that they have really nice pictures. I think they have a few too many in some of the categories,
Mm.
or ones that, not necessarily a matter of too many, but not as strong as the other ones. And I agree that it's a bit confusing that when you go from page to page, the layout totally changes.
This picture
I'll be right back.
doesn't mean too much to me. And the white balance is off here a little bit. You could just adjust the white balance. We just heard the dog going through Chelsea's soup bowl, so she's running after her. That's a really cute picture. Nice and good contrast.
Shame
Thanks so
on
much
you.
for submitting your portfolio. I hope we were able to help out with it a little bit. This is Arne Bosselman's website, and this is a Squarespace website. And you can tell immediately, like, it completely fills the screen, looks just beautiful. And as you can see, we have nice menus here that just pop out. That's kind of the difference between a Wix site and a Squarespace site. And I didn't set that up. I just pulled the first couple of sites off the list. This language I do not speak at all. Wow, these are just gorgeous pictures. Look at that. Click up here to make that go full screen. Wow.
That's
Fantastic.
beautiful.
Yeah, it
Wow.
really is.
In person still?
we jumped forward.
Wow,
Can't you
these are
tell this is a
beautiful. Wow, these are incredible.
Yeah, they're just gorgeous. Yeah, there's no suggestions I can make there. I'll
Oh.
just move on to the next. This looks like street photography.
I just want to tell you that when I went up there, Cowboy happily brought me the lid, as though I was going to be like, great, let me join in. Okay.
Was Sandy guilty?
Oh, yeah. She ran away.
Yeah, she's smart enough to know she's done something wrong, even if she doesn't care. Beautiful shots. I always like to provide some sort of constructive criticism, and so I'll just keep moving and hope I can find some flaw in your work. I don't know, what's the title of this? Mention. I don't know what that means. If
Portrait?
if this is portraits, this wouldn't be the picture I would lead with. This is a strong picture. It's emotional. But then you shift gears immediately. So if you're trying to sell portraiture, that first picture wouldn't be a great way to sell it. But at the same time, it is emotional. It might just belong in a different category because the rest of these are smiling people. It's just
Yeah.
very different work.
Hmm.
You're welcome to drive. Let's see what's going on in Hamburger.
Oh. Did you call it hamburger?
I think I did, and I do know Hamburger is a place. Hamburg is a place. God, people are gonna make fun of me for
I
being
think that
so
one said
American.
hamburger. See?
It does say hamburger right there, and we often go out to the engine room, which makes the best hamburgers after a live show. Got hamburgers on the burger.
I love German.
That's a really nice shot. Great symmetry.
Are these categories as well, or is that just the label for the picture?
They're individual pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, one more category here, culture.
I love that picture. The portrait
Yeah.
was beautiful. Where are you going?
You're right. I shouldn't skip right past that. You just caught a great moment, a great expression. Really nice. I love the blue background too. This one, my eye really doesn't know where to rest. Like, this seems to be the focal point because it's the heavy visual weight, the bright red, and it draws your eye to it right away, but then it's out of focus, and then you kind of go and explore this, but there's nothing to reward you up there.
Wait, go back.
You drive. Drive, I'll drink.
This person just looked familiar to me.
Thought you knew somebody?
Yes.
You want to see what Arne had to say
Yeah.
about Squarespace?
Yeah.
Arne says, this is my very first own homepage. It was very easy to set up. This is for non-commercial use at the moment, but it would be very easy to extend it as a business platform. It already looks very professional. I agree. Website looks great. Wants to start his blog and the easy of setting it up. Looks good on mobile devices. He's struggling with getting it to work at multiple languages, but he's making it work in German first so that his friends and family can read the content. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It's all pretty self-explanatory. We had no problem browsing it, and I don't speak
That's
much German
something
at
that
all.
we should bring
Thanks
up
for
to
using our code.
Squarespace, that they need to make it easier to make it in more than one language.
Yeah, I actually don't know what facilities they have for that. There are definitely tools exist to make a site multilingual, but I don't know how Squarespace implements it. I'm not sure. We do have a big non-English speaking audience.
Well, Erki, our friend in Sweden, had to, I think he decided to, part of the reason he decided to use another place is because it was easier over there to do dual language.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I wonder if the easiest thing might be just to create two separate websites and then link between them, like English and Swedish or German or whatever.
that's smart. It does not sound, all right.
You know what I'll do? What I've done is I would get, say, TonyNorthrup.com and TonyNorthrup.de or TonyNorthrup.es.
Okay.
See, look, now I've sold people on having 3 to 5 different Squarespace websites. I'm a marketing genius.
Yeah, you're really, really pushing for Squarespace. I'm not that committed.
But get country-specific top-level domains, and that makes it easy to identify. And Google is smart enough that when people search for you in their own individual individual language, it will send them usually to the right website. This is Chit Chat, where we read comments that people make. Sometimes they're
Why do we do that?
valid questions, and sometimes
Can
they're
I tell you
ridiculous.
something?
Yeah.
I saw an interview with I wish I knew celebrity names, like Matthew McConaughey and a few other big names from the cast of Interstellar. And people were asking them, like, how do you deal with the public's, like, comments and, like, critics and everything like that? And a lot of them were like, I just don't read them anymore because it's so hard and people are so mean.
Yeah.
And it brings you down as an artist. And so a lot of people just cut themselves off. And I'm like, that would be so nice.
It's a major barrier, and I really want to start some sort of movement where we just push politeness on YouTube commenters, because it's not a little thing. It's a big thing that holds back the progression of, just in our space, of people creating free educational content. It's
Yeah.
holding back the progression of self-paced learning. Something like YouTube has the potential to teach people all around the world at any time of day, no matter how much money they have. As long as they have an internet connection and some kind of screen, they can go and learn a skill. And every single person on the planet has something that they can teach to other people. But people are such jerks in the comments that it crushes people right away. And as soon as you get to a certain level of popularity, you start to attract these trolls. And I've seen so many people put up 1 or 2 or 10 YouTube videos, but then stop because their feelings just get hurt. They end
Yeah.
up thinking they're terrible at it. They end
Yeah.
up thinking they're stupid because people are so rude. We have to encourage people who are doing good things, who are making good content.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's not a little thing where you're not hurting one person's feelings. You're holding back the entire progression of the education of humanity, the future of education, in my opinion.
Yeah.
YouTube needs to find a way to allow people to opt into positive comments. We just need to encourage these people to make content.
I
It's
think
really holding things back.
This is my theory on why super narcissistic people always become the most famous actors and stuff, because you just need to really believe in yourself to float to the top.
Yeah, there's some sort of evolution, because if you're not narcissistic, then your feelings just get crushed.
Yeah.
I started writing publicly available books about technology, and you know how IT people are the most sensitive people. I started doing that in 1996. I wrote my first book. So I've been receiving this kind of crap for like 20 years now.
Yeah. Well,
So
I grew
I've
up,
developed a thick skin. I can take it. But even you, especially when you first got involved in the internet, you were like, oh
I
my
was
God,
like,
I don't
hell
think I can ever
no.
do this.
I was like, who are these monsters?
Yeah.
I have this whole theory that technology evolved too fast for manners, because we developed manners for like thousands of years, and then
Yeah.
the internet happened, and we're just like, I want to do whatever I want. Nobody can see me. There needs to be an etiquette book, and I think you should write it, Tony Northrup.
Can you hear Siobhan? Because your mic. Your
Oh,
phone's on.
this makes my ear hurt. What'd Siobhan say?
Oh,
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. You just.
I just saw it came on.
All right.
Okay, so Brian here says, I didn't follow this example.
I do not follow this example. If I have AF continuous on, and she is at the mound, and I recompose it going to focus on the hill, not on her, can you explain what I do not understand?
This was about back button focus. And the thing about
Okay.
back button focus is you can focus recompose with continuous focus on. You just let go of the AF on button, and then you can recompose freely.
At the
And so that is
mound.
kind of the point of AF on. I just wanted to clarify. You don't just hold it down all the time. You hold it down until it's focused, then you let go and you can do whatever you want. And the camera never focuses without you explicitly telling it. It's really great at night photography because night photography, it's a pain to focus. So you go through all this trouble to autofocus, maybe focus on a light and then you recompose. But you have to take multiple pictures because things get shaky. So you go to take the second picture and your camera starts to focus again. You're like, oh God, now I have to go back, and never back button focus solves that completely. But then this is the second time this particular guy, and I put his picture big here because
Now it's
his
going to sound like our
profile
whole rant
picture
is about him.
makes him look like he's a college kid. He's wearing a hoodie. That's clearly a college style hoodie. He's the second time you said the
College-style
college
hoodie.
look is not working for me.
Okay, the college kid look is not working. Now you look like Lurch. Lurch is sexy. Maybe your wife should pick out your outfits. I do.
Yeah, first she does pick out my outfits.
Not that one.
Second, what doesn't want to take credit for this. No, our sponsors picked out this.
Our real sponsors.
Guy, I don't have looks. And what guys even think about other guys having looks?
Tony,
Who's like, oh, I love your look today. No, I just get dressed.
oh my gosh,
The Illuminati gives me a t-shirt and I wear it because they tell me to. That's it. That's
I
all
just
there is to
realized
it.
something.
What's that?
You're having a small taste of what it's like to be a woman, where everybody comments on how you look all the time, even though you don't give a shit.
Yeah, right? And you want to be like, why are you thinking about the way I look? I'm presenting free educational
Like when
content
I
to
took
you.
that
Who
picture and
cares about
people
my
were like,
shirt or my
you
hat?
look better with brown hair. I was wearing a wig. I was like, you look better when you're not typing.
I was probably wearing a baseball cap. That was his problem prior. If I'm wearing a baseball cap, I'm not going for the college kid look. It just means my hair was sticking up that day, or the sun was in my eyes.
Wow, he really touched on something. He hit a nerve. Don't tell Tony. He looks like he's in college.
I'm more offended by the idea that somebody thinks I have looks going on.
You do. You got that handsome photographer look. Tony, Spud Gun 88 says soft light, soft pictures. Really? I think you mentioned that in a video, and he didn't agree. And I wanted to put this in there because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about this little mnemonic, not really mnemonic, soft light, soft pictures. People think it means your pictures aren't in focus in soft light, and that's not really what we mean.
Yeah, they're just not as sharp as they would be in hard light. Hard light, by its nature, outlines every single edge. It
Yeah.
casts hard shadows that make the detail obvious. Soft light fills in those things and kind of masks the detail.
If you want to see what we mean, if you have our book, or if you don't, you can do it yourself. We took a picture of an orange and we did hard side lighting, and you could see every pore on the orange. And then we used the softbox and used soft lighting and front lighting, and it filled in all of the pores and it focused more on form. But if you were to zoom in, everything was still in focus. Everything was still like sharp, but it wasn't as, it didn't look like there was as much detail, even though it was still sharp.
Yeah, and I get people who are like, well, go to Arthur Morris's website and tell me you can't get sharp pictures in soft light. First, sharpness is not like a black or white thing. It's shades of gray.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a lot of people come to me and they say their pictures are soft, and often it's the lighting. And hard lighting just will always present a sharper picture of the same subject. You don't always get to choose that. Often you do the best you can with the light you have.
Sharp is like a weird word, maybe more contrasty. And the appearance of sharpness is there. Like if you take a portrait in hard lighting, you're going to get bumps on the face, shadows under the eyes. You're going to see every hair. You're going to see every wrinkle because hard light accentuates all of that. If you move the person into the shade, then you have nice soft light on them, but their eyes are still going to be very sharp. The picture can still be sharp if it's in focus, but it has a softer look. And that's all we mean. It's not as technical. As
Yeah,
I think people-
sharpness isn't the ultimate goal for everything. No, often flattering lighting is far more important than sharpness generally.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about sharpness, yeah. Maybe Siobhan has for us or a comment, something, anything for us, Siobhan?
It's a real slow comment day over here, but
Really?
a lot of people talking about your Illuminati shirt, which is great.
Oh, they're no. This is just a triangle. I've just been into geometry lately. There's
Yeah,
no Illuminati.
That's his new look.
it's cool.
Okay, that's all we got, huh?
No, Gene is the one who took the picture of the China set, and he said it's not miniature. It was part of a set his dad brought back from Japan in 1947.
Cool.
Oh,
Wow.
is it still
Pretty
life
nice.
or did he intend it as a still life? I guess I don't
I
understand how it
guess.
fits
He's
in.
there today, so probably.
Oh, okay.
Everyone is saying that Chelsea, the guy you thought you recognized, was Kai from Digital Rev.
That's what I thought.
That was my first thought too, and then he pulled back, so I didn't know.
I couldn't tell if it was him, but cool.
Yep. One question that is of something. I have a question. How much weight can you put on the mount of a camera? I have 5D3 and just got a Canon 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8. Can I walk around with everything hanging by the standard camera strap?
I do all the time with
Yeah.
that particular combination. And in fact, I probably shouldn't, but I've definitely hung that 500 millimeter f4 from it.
Okay, please
I
just
wouldn't do a long walk.
just please let me say this. You're not safe at all.
No.
So I'd probably, honest, I'd probably research this. No offense, I love you, but we've busted our gear so many times because we're not careful. And most people can't just deal with that.
That's true. But I will say I've never had any experience with the body mount on the 5D Mark III bending from the weight of the 70 to 200
No,
F2.
no,
That's not, that particular combination, I don't think it's
it's
going
not
to be a
very
problem.
heavy.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be my go-to for camera safety. You're a wild man.
Yeah, for me, getting the picture is more important than preventing a few scratches.
Yeah. You can't be tamed.
Okay.
This was a little dark.
Yeah,
Let's see what's happening in here.
and the color is a little off too. It feels like it was taken under like
Ooh.
incandescent lights. It's like a little bit yellowish. But Chelsea's gotcha.
I got
She's
you
gonna
back.
hook you up.
Ooh.
Yeah. When you expose a picture, you want to make sure the entire histogram is used. You want to make sure that right quarter has at least some information in it. And the knife photography chapter has information about this. So even if you want the picture to be dark, take the picture with the histogram filled up, and then in Lightroom you can drop the exposure later. Here what we had was a clearly underexposed picture, and as a result there's a ton of noise in the shadows. Again, you could still make it dark by properly exposing it, or even overexposing it a little, and then pulling it down later, and you just would have a better quality image because you're letting your camera gather more light. Shooting at the base ISO 100 with that camera would help too.
I like it. I like the colors. I like all of the reflectiveness on the glass. It's cool.
Yeah, to me, I don't know where they are, but to me it feels like maybe Greek tea time. But yeah, I like it, and the shadows cast are interesting too, so it creates kind of a nice story.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, this is really nice.
This
And
is
this does
classic.
feel like just a classic still life.
I wonder what this means. I'm looking for symbolism. Dang.
I love, they just very deliberately hung the orange peel
Where
off
did
the
you
edge
get-
and arranged the oranges.
Where did you get this with like the leaves already on? Do you know what I mean? Where did they get this stuff?
They did just a brilliant job of arranging it. Let me just turn off the highlight peaking there. There we go. Just didn't want to ruin that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, just a perfect black
I love the
background.
candle.
Yeah,
and the
this
glass
picture,
thing.
perfectly exposed. It was taken with a T3i, so 5 or 6 year old camera, but it absolutely technically looks perfect.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Fantastic job. I just love it. Perfect
It
example
looks
of
like a
still life.
painting.
5
They
stars.
really
pick.
captured it.
Both of those.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I like this one too. Still lifes don't have to be traditional. They can include modern elements. Yeah.
This one is making such a statement.
What's the statement it's making?
We don't have any fresh food anymore. The water is in a bottle.
Oh,
All
yeah,
of the
I see.
fruit is in a can.
You're right. This is the take on the traditional bowl of fruit
Yeah.
that people paint.
Yeah, this is
And there's always like a
modernizing it.
goblet beside with, fresh squeezed juice, the bottle of water there.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I almost want to fix the white balance. I'm going to use just a little custom white balance thing here. It feels blue to me. I don't like that. Let's try that again. The lighting.
Recommend to
What?
them be kind of cheeky to give it that kind of like old-fashioned lighting. So if you look at old still lives, they always have that kind of warm, streaming light, contrasty look. And it might be kind of funny to make it look like that.
I'm going to give this one 5 stars. I hit 6. I tried to give it 6 stars. 5 stars and a pick
What
2.
about the last one? That one was incredible.
I gave that one 5 stars and a pick.
Oh.
Anyway, I really like the story on this one. Just a brilliant take and an artistic statement.
Yeah.
Perfectly done still life. That's what still lifes are supposed to be. Wow. So here we have somebody with clearly some sort of military experience. burning all the different elements in it because they're kind of all
Let's bring
lost
up
in
the
the black.
shadows.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. I think I think too much of it has been lost in the raw. But the handle of the knife and the emblem are kind of getting buried in there, and maybe that's just a sheath
Oh,
for the knife behind it, but it's hard for me to
forgot
see.
we had a touch screen, didn't you?
Yes, I do that all the time.
Maybe color
And
would
then I
help.
think it's a hat in the background. So there needs to be a little bit of more separation between the elements. It kind of got lost.
Well, I'm saying
the
if maybe if
processing.
they left it in color, I don't know what happened, but then you would see the different colors, and that might elements as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Good idea.
But I
Color's
do
a
like
way
it.
to do that. Lighting could do that. You could physically separate them.
Terrifying.
I'll accept it as still life because I like the shadow. I like when it does bring it to life a little bit.
It really does. I like this picture a lot, and it creeps me out. I feel like he would want to be my friend, but like to a bad point. Like he'd just keep asking,
Uh-huh.
right? I think he's like a bad
Like
kind
our
of
dog
friendly.
Sandy.
Yeah, he's like Sandy.
Um,
This is nice. It's kind of like, I think, more product photography, but I think that might actually be under still life, kind of. And there's also a towel in there and an opener, so I think it's definitely still life.
yeah, though I'll say my eyes immediately went to that bird in the foreground, and the fact that he's out of focus bumped me a little bit. I'd like to see the
Oh.
depth of field extend through the entire still life subject. What do you think? Is that okay to have out of focus stuff in the still life? I guess because it's rooted in painting, where that depth of field didn't really come in through that period.
I would give it the okay, but
You're okay with that?
you know what? I'm not the authority in this, but I think it's okay. Ooh, I love that lantern.
Yeah,
the
this
old
really
crate.
tells a story of like camping. I imagine somebody has like a hunting lodge. That's the way it feels
I
to
imagine
me.
the power went out. They went and got their stuff. I love when the power goes out. You're like, yay, we could play a board game anytime, but now it seems interesting.
I feel like it has a little too much green in it. I like the yellow feel. I think I wish the lantern were burning.
Oh, you have a lot of feelings.
Yeah, but I got to do something with the color here. It does work in black and white. I
I'm
don't
just
know if that was
sharpening
your
it a little
intention,
bit. It reminds me like almost Norman Rockwell for some reason.
Yeah, I like it
I
a
love
lot.
it. I'm gonna give it a 5. And how do you give it a pick? A P?
P.
Picked it. Love it. Can't get enough. What are you doing?
I just tried to tweak the color a little bit. Worse.
How could you do this with your college boy looks?
Chevelle, new questions or comments for us?
Sean, what's up?
Slow day, guys. Someone named Julian Koch keeps shilling for Fro, I think.
Why would you do
Um,
that? That's so rude.
That's happening. Is the Ravelli APGL4 any good or a waste of $70? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
What is it?
Say that again.
The Ravelli APGL4.
Yep, I have no idea.
Look it up,
Yes.
Tony.
Too many numbers.
Someone is real upset that we're making the Illuminati a joke.
What was it?
Who?
Ravelli RPG?
APGL4.
Wait, why are they upset that we're joking about the Illuminati?
Apparently, it's serious business.
Did they see my necklace?
We did notice. Someone finally noticed your necklace. You guys are really dedicated to this joke.
Yeah, if
Which
anything,
I
we are
appreciate.
committed to jokes.
We're
Chelsea
not-
doesn't have a Paul Reiser signed picture on her desk for nothing. We will drive a joke into the ground.
We like to take
There's
jokes
nothing
and
more
murder
important.
them. Okay.
I
So-
appreciate that about you.
The Ravelli is a tripod, but it's not like I've used every tripod. There's like,
It's got great reviews.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would look at the reviews. Those people have used it.
Yeah, $70 isn't bad for a tripod either.
No, that's depends what you're using it for. You'll need something more stable if you're doing night photography, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Vincent Ferris just now sent in his portfolio, so let's take a look at it. This is powered by Squarespace. What do you know? Which category
Wouldn't
do
it
you
be
feel like
weird
looking
if
at,
that
Chels?
person was right and we died and the Illuminati got us? I'm just saying, it'd be an interesting way to go.
What category do you feel like looking at, Chels?
The one with the canyon.
Okay.
I can't read. Antelope Canyon?
Yeah, one of those. Beautiful. Oh, you got a rainbow.
Oh, rainbow.
I've been to the Grand Canyon twice, and I don't know. I just didn't have the great skies and weather, and it just wasn't
Hey,
stunning.
Eric.
Watch the fringing on the sky here, but otherwise, I think it's a nice picture. I wish there was a focal point here.
A roadrunner.
A roadrunner would be perfect.
I know. I don't like that. When I see trees like that, I feel bad for them.
My eye didn't rest anywhere. So you notice I just skipped over it quickly because
Yeah, not as strong as the other pictures.
yeah, that's it. It just didn't hang. Beautiful picture of Las Vegas. I keep trying to get Chelsea to go to Las Vegas for night photography because I just think it's so stunning.
I want to go. It's just there are better places in the world.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture. I really like that composition. Really
Me
thoughtful.
too.
Okay, let's see what other categories we got here. Let's check out the nature and wildlife. Okay, not too many pictures here. A couple of aquarium pictures, it looks like. I'm bothered by the out of focus subjects here. I would probably just cut that because of it. He is cute. That's a good picture. Big
Nice.
Tom. Nice jellyfish.
I like that he kept it small. He didn't try to fill it out if he didn't have the picture.
Yes, that is good.
These are nice.
Yeah, Vincent, your landscape pictures
They're
are
really beautiful. I love that.
yeah, your landscape pictures are absolutely stunning. What I might actually do is just pare it down to a single category. At this point, I don't see any need to kind of divide it up. Maybe you have separate architecture pictures, but you didn't have a whole lot of the, so I might wait until you build that collection a little bit more to set up a separate category for it. And
Oh,
landscapes and travel in black and white, I don't know that we need to divide those categories.
oh, I thought I liked the categories, but I can see how there would be two opinions.
And there's just one picture in the architecture.
Okay, I'd probably put that in the landscape, but I like the wildlife one, the little fish and thing.
Let's learn about Vincent. Vincent's
What is
got a
that?
picture of himself. A log, I think.
Hmm.
Did you think it was like a dragon,
I thought
or
it was like a big chicken.
let's see what Vincent had to say about Squarespace. Vincent says he's submitted 20 minutes ago, and he's not sure it's coming through because he got an error. Okay, we did get it. Let's check out Clay's
Clay.
website.
This is Clay Aiken.
It's possible that's like the only Clay reference you have. Claymation, another famous actor, does a lot of work.
Oh,
It's a lame dad joke. What's happening to me? Beautiful portrait, really striking. Bright colors. Got a toucan in there. Oh, I love that racing
great.
shot. Gorgeous.
Ah, beautiful.
Big Tom, I think it's called.
Oh no. Big Jen.
Big Jen.
Wow, how is she comfortable like that?
When you're modeling,
Comfort.
if you're comfortable, yeah, you're doing something wrong. So far, nothing is jumping out at me to critique. Like, everything looks good.
Yeah, that
Often,
looks pretty good.
when I'm
I will say
quiet,
I don't
things
like
are
when all the
really good.
pictures are touching like this. That always bothers me because each individual picture doesn't get, oh, I just can't separate it from the other ones.
Yeah, you just want a little bit of space between them. That's the
Yeah.
kind of thing you can configure on Squarespace. Maybe just put a little room between them.
And
Action.
it's a matter of preference, but I like the white background. You a black background kind of guy, or
Yeah, I like the black background. It needs to support the mood. I feel like
you feel like it's serious?
his stuff, yeah, is a
It
little
is
more
kind of
serious.
manly. It's kind of manly.
There's, oh, Clabe. Okay.
Wait,
He-
what?
It says Clay up here, but then He
Clabe.
says it's pronounced Clabe.
Oh,
Thanks for submitting your portfolio, Clay. I'm sorry we didn't have better feedback for you. I think you're definitely going in the right direction. Everything looks
yeah.
just great.
I liked it.
Let's see what Clabe had to say about it. He's a web programmer himself, as was I for many years. He decided to use Squarespace after evaluating many others. It's very easy to use, and if you have some skills, you can write your own CSS for customization. True that. Really like the variety of templates, and their customer support is the best I've seen.
I have a few thoughts. Like, it's very smart that he just changed it to Clay to make it an easier name.
Yeah.
But then I was also thinking, wouldn't it stink if you just had a name and you had to change it to something so that other people could remember it?
If you care about your name, I suppose. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I guess I'm not that attached, but still seems weird. The things you take for granted. Tony. Generic name, Tony.
Okay, well, speaking of names nobody can pronounce or spell correctly, Siobhan,
Oh, yeah.
has anything come up in the last 2 minutes?
Oh, she should change
No.
her
Yeah,
name.
they've been stepping up their game a little bit.
Oh, good. Good work, people.
What is the biggest improvement you see happening in the camera world in the next 10 years?
Man, I might have to ponder that a little bit. I think at some point we gotta figure out. Right now, we have the Bayer filter on every sensor, and so every single pixel is receiving only red, blue, or green light. We gotta figure out a way to get rid of that. We need to figure out a way to make pixels that can detect the frequency of incoming photons. I don't know if that's physically possible.
Wow, you went really like far with that. You went, whoa. You went into sensor technology.
Okay, I'll go a little lighter.
Okay.
I think we have to take the best of the reason camera makers are losing all their market share to smartphones and camera phones is because it's so easy to take a picture with your phone and then put it on the internet. And yet every new freaking camera we see has Wi-Fi built in, and they make it impossible to get your stuff to the internet. They make it such a pain that we never, ever, ever use it.
I think that's actually more important.
Yeah, that's what will save the camera industry. They need to work with Verizon and AT&T and all the cellular providers. They need to put cellular modems into the cameras so they are constantly connected into the internet, and you can upload to Facebook with one touch. And then people's vanity will take over, and they'll start taking pictures with real cameras so they look better than they can get with their cell phone. But if it's more than one button to get it on Twitter or Facebook, it's never going to work. And transferring stuff, I don't do it. It takes too long to get stuff from the camera to your phone and then to
I've
Facebook.
tried. I try over and over and over again to use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's so flaky. I think I've gotten it to work only a few times. I
Yeah.
gave up.
I think Samsung is the closest to this because they also own a mobile phone business, and they know how to make mobile phones. So they could actually really blow things up. Sony does too, and they might actually do it, but I've used both their cameras, and they're nowhere near that yet. Also, the user interfaces. Use an iPhone and then use the screen on the back of your camera, and it's like a 20-year-old user interface. So I guess that's my answer. What's your answer, Chelsea? I go on for so long with the simplest of questions.
You're like a futurist. You love to predict what's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen. You're pretty good too. I don't know. I'd probably go with what you said, the Wi-Fi. I don't have some technical thing. Especially because the pictures that I see from most people, they're not impressive because they're technically perfect. They're impressive because of composition and the novelty, a new idea, creativity. So that's not something to develop.
That's actually something Wi-Fi can help with too, because one of the most important aspects of a photo is like relevance and recency.
Yeah.
So if a picture is so much more important if it's your daughter on a swing set now, as opposed to your daughter on a swing set sometime in the past.
2 weeks ago, because you forgot your memory card in the car.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just didn't bother getting it on the
Yeah.
computer, and Wi-Fi was too hard to set up.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Hastings here asked you a question. He asked me a question for you, I guess. Chelsea, did you use a shoot-through umbrella as the light source in that photo of Madeline?
No, I used the softbox.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where was this taken?
In her backyard. I just did
Oh, you brought a softbox out?
yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was just natural light.
No, I tricked all of you, didn't I?
Okay.
Still lifes. Let's see if we have more. Oh. Night
Is
on the Town. That's what I'd call this one.
oh, okay. Is that perfume?
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about the lipstick being out of focus?
Feel all right about it.
Yeah, I think it still conveys.
Brighten it up a lot, though.
Oh, really? No, I didn't mind the darkness of it at all. I do think
I want
it's
to add a
important to
mood
establish a
to
mood
it
here
to
with
match
the
the
light.
mood of like what's happening when you're seeing these things. You're going out, putting on your lipstick and your perfume.
Yeah, if I had a suggestion, it would be to just kind of up the mood a little bit. There's
Up the mood.
something in the background back there that we can kind of make out, but it doesn't necessarily support it.
Make out.
Chelsea's holding down the Alt key, which alters the screen and allows you to kind of see what's being clipped as she's making adjustments.
I like when you talk about what I'm doing.
Just narrating.
Could you get a better narrator voice? Chelsea's.
Nice work.
Wait.
Chelsea had more to do with that.
See?
So we're doing still lives this week. They kind of tell us a story.
Yeah.
Or communicate a feeling or a mood.
Get your
Get more,
mood
you done?
on. I love this.
Yeah, that
This is
really
so
nice.
wonderful. Siobhan, do you love this?
Sure.
Thanks for the strong stance.
Sorry, it's real small on my screen. It looks lovely though.
Yeah. Beautiful mood, great processing. I
What
love
is
the
this?
texture of it. Looks
Cookies
like a jar
and
of
milk?
cookies.
Oh, dear God.
Oh,
A
yeah.
still life after my own heart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my jam.
Yeah, right? Cookies, milk, and flowers. This is like the perfect day. This picture should be called Chelsea's Perfect Day. And I think that's a pot to pee in.
Yeah.
My other favorite thing.
But why do you need a serving spot on the pot that you pee in exactly, Chelsea?
Recycle.
This is really fun. This feels like an
Siobhan's
Easter
cracking
feel to
up.
me.
She loves jokes about recycling pee. Look at her.
It's just the right thing to do, people.
It's right.
Recycle, reuse.
Don't be so wasteful. These are
Um,
jelly beans. Everybody is just making me hungry today.
Gotta
What?
say, this is one of the downsides to see that everything on it. I guarantee you somebody ate those jelly beans along with the little hairs on it, though. Just
It
remember,
adds
people,
flavor.
your jelly beans have hair. You just can't see them.
Why are you doing
That's why
this?
you shouldn't buy a macro lens.
What is with this smear campaign against jelly beans? Okay? I can't handle it. I like it a lot.
Beautiful picture. I love the pastels. Great colors.
I love the pastels. This is so cool.
Yeah, this is really interesting right
This
away.
is like the Fiona Apple criminal video for still life. It totally is. If you have to look it up, do it.
Oh no, I think everybody knows right away what the Fiona Apple criminal video looks like. That's totally in our demos wheelhouse.
That was like such a big video. It's Paul
Really?
Thomas
Maybe
Anderson.
everybody else does. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not even going to change a thing. I love it so much.
Yeah, I do too. What's the story to you? It looks like there's a chessboard and parrots and a couple of
There's
crazy
no
faces.
story. It's just here's stuff. Deal with it. I got a red background.
I love the contrasting shapes, the red, the geometry of it. Really nice.
This
Pick.
is the story that I don't understand.
Yes, but you feel like there's a story there, right?
Oh, it's a screwed up story. I feel like I'm too young for this story.
That watch is totally blinged out.
Let me see. I wish that there were just a highlight just to bring out the form of this bottle.
Yeah, anytime you're working with something reflective, you really need to start being careful about the light. And for something like this, you'd want a strip light. Strip light is just a long, well, it's what it sounds like. So you'd set that up, and you'd worry more about the reflections that you were getting than the light that you were casting on the source. Sometimes you'll take a big softbox and just take a big piece of black cardboard and put it over it. There were a lot of different ways to shape the light. You could just use a window and with the sun coming through and draw the curtain just a little bit to get a strip out. But yeah, we want to get some lines going down that bottle to really accentuate the shape and reflectiveness
So
of
this
the
is a
surface.
really rough edit that I would never use, but just to show you what it's like to add a little form. So you kind of lose the shape of the bottle, bring it out. See what I'm saying?
Same with the face of the watch because it has a crystal on it. And often what you'll end up doing is
See that?
you'll take a whiteboard and a blackboard and you'll stack them together and then you'll just get the reflection of that white and blackboard in it. If you look at like any iPhone ad, you'll see that white and blackboard reflected. You don't think about it. You just see like a light going down it and it just tells you this is reflective.
This is
Looks
shiny.
awesome, even though you
And
don't
you
think
need
about it.
this because it's shiny.
Yeah, people love shiny stuff.
I went crazy.
Great shot. Okay, so here we have
I like this. There's a horse. There's a man.
and
Some star magnolia.
the guy who
Star
made my
magnolia.
t-shirt, I guess,
There's-
submitted this.
Oh my gosh. It's happening.
Yeah. Great shot. I've received my orders. I must act on them now.
Horseman flower. I think you know what to do.
Does anybody remember those shows in the 70s where there was always the phone would ring and there'd be like a secret code that would trigger the hidden assassin inside of some normal person?
Oh, because
and
they
then
were hypnotized?
They
and
would
they'd be like,
activate and then they would have to kill the president or something.
the code word is potato.
Yeah. And the person would hear potato and it'd be like, murder. Nobody watched like Fantasy Island
No,
or
I didn't, but I know what you mean. What?
oh, nice shirt, Tony.
This is like, I don't know why they're ruining their cool, weird pictures with that. That's like a strange choice.
I actually really like that picture.
I like it too. Like, I feel like we all feel like an imprisoned waffle.
The waffle is I really like that picture. The color and the geometry of it. The black tape, it's inexplicable, but I'm just drawn to it. Really nicely done. I'll import a couple of more pictures while we cut over to Siobhan, who might
Siobhan.
have an interesting question or comment for us.
Siobhan, could you find that Illuminati person so we know their real identity, please?
I wish I could. I don't know.
Siobhan, use your smarts. Trick
I
them.
got a lot going on over here, okay?
Siobhan, come on.
What's going on,
What?
Siobhan?
Okay. Vincenze says, thank you for reviewing his portfolio, but the tattoo wasn't of a dragon. It was a portrait of his late grandfather.
Tattoo.
I don't remember a dragon tattoo.
I don't know.
Okay.
What?
The still life that you really liked that you surprise asked me about was shot by Audio Technica on his phone.
Oh,
Awesome.
Awesome.
I
Pretty
know a lot
cool.
of people that take pictures with their cameras, and they're great. I mean, their phone.
Yeah, the only real limitation is that it's a fixed focal length. You can't
Yeah.
zoom in or anything. So you're not going to get wildlife shots with it. But at that focal length, you could take a beautiful landscape shot with it.
Yeah.
What else you got for Siobhan?
Any tips to shoot the solar eclipse happening tomorrow?
What's happening?
In Europe.
Huh.
And no. All I can say is
Stare.
during my childhood, they prepared me for several important situations. And for example, stop, drop, and roll. Because apparently when I was growing up, people were lighting on fire all the time.
Bursting into flames left and right.
Yeah, that hasn't happened to me, but I'm prepared for it. Another one they prepared me for was not to stare into the eclipse. And I don't know how many people lost their vision staring into the eclipse. Apparently it was a real epidemic when I was growing up. So that's the only advice I have. I can pass it on from elementary school in
Don't
Pflugerville,
stare
Texas.
into
Don't
it.
stare into the eclipse.
And if you do, stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, your eyes will burst into flames.
That's
The only
really
way to
your
fix
only
it.
advice?
I've never taken a picture of an eclipse, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
Let's
It
make
doesn't
something
happen
up.
that often. Do you have any advice?
I'd say just go for it.
We did have an eclipse when I was a kid, and we made like cardboard boxes, and you'd make like a pinhole camera basically, and then you'd look at the projection of it. Is there anything else, Siobhan?
Yes. Why are camera makers so big on giving us unusable super high ISO cameras? Super low ISOs would be so much more practical and useful.
But
This
super
person's
low
totally
ones
pandering.
are hard to make and are actually practical.
Yeah, higher ISOs are very easy because it's a software change.
Yeah.
They just take the same data from the low ISO and just like magnify, literally just multiply it in software. And people they used to get all excited when they saw like ISO 400,000. But just today I was going through video from our Sony A7S at ISO 400,000. And they brag about how you can shoot at ISO 400,000, but the video is totally unusable. You
Well,
would never
okay,
use
that's
it.
the point I'm getting to. The
Yeah.
reason why they do it is because they want to have the highest number. So when somebody buys it, they can be like, oh, mine's the best at this, even though it's completely impractical. But they do that a lot.
The D810, my single favorite feature is that it supports ISO 64. Nobody ever talks about that, but it makes a noticeable difference by supporting that lower ISO. So the reason is camera makers don't make the cameras you need, they make the cameras you want because that's what you buy, and people don't know that they want lower ISOs.
No, they make the cameras that sound sexy.
Yeah, and numbers are easy to sell, things like megapixels, but actually a big part of the reason I made that optimal image quality video is I wanted to enlighten people that they need lower ISOs. I said it over and over again, and I hope by telling the consumer that this is useful, that they'll then communicate that to the manufacturers, and maybe eventually we can get cameras that are made more for what we need than want. Okay, so we have another still life here. It looks like a bunch of maps.
Sorry, I'm always watching what's going on in Siobhan's world. It's like, I know I'm supposed to be making a show, but I'd rather watch the Siobhan show.
The Siobhan show.
I just saw a child walk by with like a treat, and then the dog walked by. A man! A man! I love the show. So good. Sorry. What about this picture?
It looks like a bunch of maps.
Motoring
like
about
it.
Glasgow. The Tony Northrup story.
Driving in both Ireland and Scotland is terrifying, right?
Terrifying.
I mean, I lived in New York.
The
and
speed
Boston,
limit
two of
is
the
like
scariest places.
100 miles per hour on what should be a one-lane road, but is not. And there are branches and cows poking into the road.
Yeah, it's a 2-lane road, but if somebody's coming the other direction, you have 2 wheels in the dirt.
Yeah. In
Like,
Ireland, their speed limits
the
are like
cows
a
need to
dare.
move and
They're
stuff.
like, yeah, you go this fast. Let's see
But
if you live.
People do.
Have a beer. What?
It's the only place in the world where I was the slowest driver on the road. I'm an aggressive driver, but I could not keep up in either Ireland or Scotland.
I was getting car sick.
Those back
I'm
roads,
scared.
they are insane. Yeah.
This picture, though, this is a still
Yeah,
life.
I'm sorry to get off topic.
And the maps are kind of old in age, so I would have the processing match that.
Yeah.
Right? You like that idea, don't
Yeah.
you, T North?
You
So
do
maybe
that.
like warm it up, like old film a little bit. Warmer than any rational person would think was right. And then let's bring up the clarity. You could even add a little noise if you wanted to, if you just wanted to get real special with it. Where's the noise?
It's down lower. Effects, grain.
Yeah.
Might have to crank the size up there. That made it more visible.
Okay. Okay.
We're just doing a rough thing. Yeah, usually you want to like drop the blues because that tends to happen in old prints. That's what
Yeah.
people are used to seeing. That's why those old prints end up looking orange, just because the blues degrade faster than the reds do.
Yeah. Okay, bring exposure down a little. And then bring the whites up.
Yeah, but I like it. It's a thoughtful picture. It
Yeah.
communicates something clearly.
It wasn't really what I was going for, but I think you knew what I meant. This is Dirk, but then I feel like things are lurking in these shadows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't feel bad about the exposure. I feel like it's a nice little story. So he's got well, I don't know. Maybe that's the French press. Maybe it's something different. I guess I don't know exactly
It's
what that
something
is.
different. Let's see. Let's just bring up the highlights a little. I like it. It makes me thirsty.
Thirsty.
Oh.
Yeah,
is a gorgeous droplet.
I didn't know it wasn't zoomed in either.
I kind of liked it like that too.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I actually do like the super close up, and it actually does tell the entire story of the flower.
Yeah.
There's something to seeing the entire flower and the way that it's drooping. But yes, it's a good exercise to find the simplest cut of a picture that gives you what you want. In fact, we haven't really.
But the whole picture is also very gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. But we haven't cropped anything today, and I know people are thirsty. So let's just
People
bring
are
that down a
thirsty.
little bit. You're welcome, people.
What is this? Some kind of
Sushi, birthday sushi, I guess.
birthday sushi. Let's bring up the shadows so we can see.
Yeah, let's bring those
Oh,
shadows
that
back
just
down.
see that tells a story. That
Really, I
just
liked
tells
it better with less shadow.
you did.
Yeah, I liked a little
But I
mystery
couldn't even
there.
tell what this bowl was. You want a mystery bowl?
Oh, I knew it was
Mm-mm.
a bowl of soy, just because I'm familiar with sushi.
Oh. I'm insulted. I love it. I love sushi.
I just want to see what we had left here.
Wow.
We're actually close to getting through all the pictures, which we don't always get to do. I love
Wow.
the off-center
You
composition
are
here.
crazy.
Yeah, and in fact, the fact that it's upside down kind of challenges you. To me, I thought it was a light bulb kind of thing at first, and maybe that is the story that you're trying to tell. Abstract, thoughtful. I like it.
I would actually crop it just a little more
Hmm.
so the flower took up more.
Yeah.
This is a story, if I ever saw one.
Yes, but I am distracted by the fake frame. So can we just get rid of that fake
Oh, that's a
please?
frame.
Yeah. I think they just like added it in post, but I don't know what it's
I thought
adding
it was
to
a
the
piece
story.
of paper on a reflective surface.
Yeah, the texture of that frame, like it was very like almost 80s modern, and it seemed to clash with this kind of gritty, earthy, old kind of feel. So I like that much better right away.
Let's see if we lost the highlights here. We did. Okay. I like it.
So you wanted to recover the highlights a little bit. If
Yeah,
it was a
just
little burnt
here,
out to
this
you.
is just, you don't want your highlights to be completely, here, let me show you. If you go into the whites here and you press Alt, like I've been doing this all the time. Oh, why isn't it showing?
They're not quite burnt out. But
thought
it
they
does
were.
feel a little bright. Yeah. I think you could just adjust it.
Okay.
It's savable. But I like it. You have kind of a female male thing going on, but there's also a story behind that key and the little tag that's on it. Kind of an old school lock. It's thoughtful. I like it.
It's thoughtful. We like you. We think we'll keep you.
I'm giving that one a pick.
You
I
pick it.
liked it once I got rid of that.
Oh, dang. I like this hot garbage. Ah, dang.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
I like that too.
What is hot? Where are you? Are you okay?
There's a certain geometry to it. I like the kind of
Is everything safe at home?
pictures of statues. Very
Yeah,
hard
but this
to do.
is sweet.
Um,
These statues are in love.
Yeah, I like what they did here. They didn't just take a picture of the statue, but they kind of made it their own by framing it and telling a story with the expressions. The negative space works
Yeah.
out really well here too.
Interesting. This person wrote the rules for the internet we were talking about earlier.
Or being married, but yeah. I do wish that people on the internet on hard days would give us extra love.
Remember I wish they would give each other personal space.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And make
And every day they should tell us that they love us. Remember, these are your rules for watching our YouTube channel.
I'm overly attached.
And don't get mad at us in front of the kids. And if you need help, call your mom.
What? Where does it say that?
Under I here, instead of sending us more emails. Chelsea, did you have like a Squarespace thing you had to read? You're the master of the Squarespace stuff.
Oh man.
Are they good? Are they bad?
They're alright. I mean, I have them. I just think that we should take a moment to hold hands and talk about Squarespace. Tony, where did you host your website before Squarespace?
Bluehost or Blue Domain or
Domain.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
and I did not particularly like them
I didn't finish mine
at all.
because it took forever and it was really tedious. Every time I would try to update it, things would go wrong or they wouldn't match or it would just be frustrating. And when I got my Squarespace, I finished it within, I don't know, an hour. And then I kind of tinkered because it's fun. But yeah, it's simple. They have 24/7 support. They have a lot of nice, clean templates. You don't have to be a designer. You don't have to be a programmer.
Right.
It's really easy. It's drag and drop. It all looks good. It all matches.
Even as a programmer, there's no way anybody knows anybody is actually good at the design part and the like technical back end part and knows how to get it adapted to every single mobile device.
I
Like
think-
they don't have one programmer, they have a team of programmers. If you're the best programmer, you can't possibly replace that entire team that they have going.
Yeah.
That team can just do more work than one person can.
Yeah. So I really love my Squarespace. You can check mine out at chelseanorthrup.com. And Tony's at northrupphotography.com. We have to update yours.
Yeah, I need to change to a different layout. I'm
Yeah.
tired of that layout.
Yeah.
But it's easy to mix it up. You can just go in and select a new layout and it kind of brings everything over automatically, makes it super easy. And it's really easy to add new pictures to when you want to. If you feel like making your own, go to squarespace.com/Tony and let them know that it came from us by using the coupon code portfolio if you decide to sign up after your free 14-day
You get a
trial.
free domain name if you buy the whole year in advance.
Wow.
And it starts as cheap as $8 a month.
Good deal. Every site includes a store too. Stuff like that.
Stuff like that. All these things. Website. Beautiful, beautiful. We love it. We love it. What more do you need to know? 10% off.
Justin, were there any useful tweets today?
Justin, tell us about those tweets.
We forgot to plug Twitter.
No,
Okay.
Siobhan just kind of read everything.
All right. Siobhan, do you have anything else?
She said yes.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Okay, go for it.
What historical event would you pick to photograph?
Oh my gosh. That's such a hard question. Okay, this one's going to be a little crazy because I would have to be on the moon. But the moon landing. I would want to be there. They say it's life-changing to see the whole planet and realize we're all just a part of this beautiful little environment.
I don't know why the first thing that popped into my head was
Beatlemania.
no, it was Homo sapiens interbreeding with Neanderthals, and I don't know why
You pervert!
that came
You
into my head.
pervert!
As
Ugh, you disgust me.
I'm very interested in early human history. Siobhan, what's your answer to that?
Oh,
What would you photograph?
Oh God, no! I'm not the one who answers questions.
you could.
Good thinking on your feet, Siobhan. Justin,
know.
just
Woodstock.
Justin, what would you photograph
Woodstock,
historically?
that's a great one.
Oh, Woodstock, that's a great
That's
one.
so
yeah.
much more fun than the moon landing. I'd probably be so bored.
Yeah, Woodstock is awesome. The movie is great if you guys haven't seen it.
No, I'm not.
Whoa, a movie recommendation too? Justin, you always have it going on.
But what would you photograph, Justin?
Not to be morbid, but maybe like the Third Reich, like World War II stuff, Nazi stuff.
Nazis? That's
Yeah,
cool.
I actually think that would be fascinating. I would love to photograph. I've always been fascinated by their machinery and stuff. They had interesting stuff going on. And you're right, it's a period of history that was specifically not documented very well, but was intensely meaningful. Do you have any other questions for us, Siobhan?
That
Siobhan,
was a good one.
questions?
Yes.
Good one.
Okay.
Viewer.
Are
Why
you
do you
afraid
ask
I'm
like
going to
that?
throw it back at you? You
No.
seem all timid now.
Well, there was one asking how to get a date with me, which is ridiculous. Also, do you calibrate your focusing system on your camera often?
No.
Yeah, if you want to date Siobhan, you should first ask permission from her husband, who's like at least twice my size.
6'4".
Yeah.
He would mess you up. That's how. You
Yeah.
have to first fight Eric.
I've
Let's
never.
be honest, I'm more dangerous than he is.
I think that's probably true. Yeah, what? You have to ask permission of her husband. Eric, can I date your wife? Sure. And then Siobhan's like, I guess I have to. Boo-boo.
Can you breathe underwater? Chelsea, how many times have we calibrated our focusing systems?
0.
0. It just, no. We have so many cameras and so many lenses, and we've never had to calibrate anything. I don't know who these people are who are always calibrating their focusing systems.
People say we should, but then we're like,
I think we just,
bye, Felicia.
it's just not an issue.
Here I am.
Is that it, or do you
Still
have anything
living and
else,
breathing.
Siobhan?
Make something up. Oh, you're
Anything
silent.
you want to know?
You're silent, Siobhan.
I'm back, and my dog's knocking stuff over.
Hungry.
Dogs.
Yeah, no, there's nothing good.
Okay, that's fine. We're over time anyway.
could you
Thanks
do
so
this
much
to
for
us?
joining us. We're here every Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. No idea what time that is in your time zone, but you can probably
Easter
look it up.
time.
Easter time is coming soon too. Thanks, Siobhan in Philadelphia, and thank you,
Siobhan.
Justin, 5 feet from me.
Siobhan, you should tell that Jared Pollan lover that you live right down the street from him.
Why?
Now, watch out for bags of poop on this doorstep.
Flaming bags of poop, brought to you by Siobhan. Siobhan Space, the all-in-one provider for flaming bags of poop. She loves that joke.
Okay. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
On that note.